So I'm just really quickly here going to show you how to prune your cucumber plants. If you've got them in pots a little, you're going to prune them a little. Don't be afraid to take off your leaves. You can obviously use a pair of scissors or some clippers, but I just do it with my fingers because it's more convenient than me having to run out and search for my clippers. And especially your leaves down at the bottom, you want to thin those out and give your plant some good airflow, and you want some sunlight to be able to hit all of your fruit that you've got growing. You don't want to hurt any of your fruit that's growing, but I'm just going to take off some of these. I might actually leave that one. Let me see what it looks like. So the ones that are at the bottom here, and when I brought these outside from, these guys were in my greenhouse, and when I brought them out here, they took a bit of a hit with the sun. They didn't really like the sun, and it was really a hot period. But cucumbers like the heat, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to take that one off. So you can see there, I just thinned it out a little. This is a new little side shoot that's coming out, so I'll just let that continue. And that just cleans that up nicely there. And I'll show you this one here. I already thinned, but I can see that. I can take that one off too. And you can see how easy that is to kind of pull those leaves off. And then this is a different one, which this one hasn't really flowered too much yet. I don't know why. But I'm just going to take all of these little leaves off the bottom, even though there's some nice new little ones down there. Let me see how it's looking. So some of the older leaves that got a little damage from the sun, I'll take those off. And as this one gets bigger, it is, let me show you here, it is slowly starting to flower there. If you can see that, it's kind of bright out here. So this one's the furthest behind all of them. And yeah, so I'll just leave the rest on that plant. And so there, so I clean those up a little bit. And as this gets, see and hope that you can see. There we go. Look, focus. I hope you could see what I was doing before and it wasn't out of focus. As this grows up, I encourage it to go around the stalk or the stick. This is just a bamboo stick. It'll start to send out some little tendules. I'm being attacked by a bee. Some tendules like this, and you can see how it's starting to wrap around the stick. And obviously it's going to totally surpass this stick. And I still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do. But I was thinking about getting a hula hoop and putting it over top of the sticks and like kind of attaching them together and then encouraging them to grow up and over. Because I can do multiple, like I could do another stick so that each one can grow up on one. I think that's probably what I will do for these guys. And then they'll look really pretty too. They'll look neat. So they'll be like an arch between each one of them, each of the 5 plants. So yeah. And also with our tomatoes here, I thought I would quickly show you. So these are tumbler tomatoes. So with a tumbler tomato, they are a determinate tomato. They're not just going to keep growing up long. I do see some bugs there. I want to keep that in check. They're not going to keep growing tall. They're just going to grow bushy. So I don't want to take off all of these sucker shoots that you see where they grow in like the little crevice between where the leaf comes out, and you'll get a sucker shoot. And we got another sucker shoot there. right there, that one. I'm just going to leave all of those. But what I do try to do with the plant itself is I go through, same thing, I just pinch it like this, take it and pinch. I'm actually going to leave that one on. We did thin these out because some of the leaves were not in the greatest of shape. And you do want to be careful because you don't want to break off anything. But if you've got a leaf that's looking like that one was, take that off. Because the plant's trying to put energy into that leaf and it doesn't need to. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here. Just kind of pinching it off. There's another one that was in rough shape from when we had the heat. And so, trying to keep this in focus, it keeps going out of focus. I will just go through around the bottom. And so that little sucker shoot there, I'm actually going to take off because I want to keep the bottom open so that I can, so that there's good airflow. These guys don't, they don't get like super full, as you can see. But we have thinned these once. And so I've got this other leaf here that I'm going to try and, I probably should be using some pruners for this because I don't want to break the actual plant. There you go. Nice big leaf off of there, and then that opens it up. Yeah, so I'll just go along to all of these plants. And then when I do have, like, I will leave some sucker shoots, but if I've got something like this guy here, I will pick that off. And then I'll just go through and try and, like I said, I clean up what, like the bottom to try and keep it kind of like free of debris and keep it open and airy, but they already kind of are. So I may go through and try to clean these guys up a little bit more, but they actually are looking pretty good. When we first brought them out, they did the same thing as the cucumbers did. They weren't super happy with the, like, it wasn't a temperature change, it was just the direct sunlight because they were in a greenhouse, so they weren't getting like total direct sunlight. So they've taken quite well to that. Being in these little pots like this, so we just had like a huge rainstorm, and that's even kind of light, really. These guys probably need some water. I've been watering these tomato plants 2 times a day. The cucumbers, though, because they're in a bigger pot, they only need water once a day. So tomatoes and cucumbers consume a lot of water because their fruit is made up of water, so you want to keep them really well watered. Yeah, so I hope that was helpful. If you're growing tomatoes and you want to know, or tomatoes and cucumbers, sorry, rather, if you want to know how to care for them. Hey, you! Brat face! Max! I just put you inside! Dogs that don't listen. So, anyways, yeah, I hope that that was helpful. If you're growing cucumbers and tomatoes in containers on your deck and you're not quite sure how to care for them, well, that's one thing that you can do. Like I said, these tomatoes and these cucumbers all have a full cup of 444 Gaia 444, that's the brand I use, fertilizer underneath of them. I don't fertilize a lot of my stuff that way. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and squash are really heavy feeders, and they really like a lot of extra nutrients. So these guys will do really well because they've got a lot of food underneath of them. Yeah. Anyways, I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.